Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Angel Therapy. I am your host, Maureen Mann. If you are watching live, it is Thursday, October 17th, and I am broadcasting from my home in Massachusetts. I hope that whenever you are watching this, whether live or on the replay, that you are doing well today. I just want to thank those of you who are subscribers from YouTube and from Facebook. We are live streaming from both places, and the replays are also available on both. So if you want to hit like and subscribe, that way we can spread the word and bring the angels and all of their goodness and inspiration into as many homes as possible. Tonight, I am very excited because I have a special guest. I decided that I'm going to interview people once a month on Angel Therapy so that you can meet some of the amazing people that I know and get to know a little bit about them and their talents and their journeys. So tonight, my special guest is the lovely author and fellow Star Nations host, Miss Julie Hedges. And let me tell you a little bit about her. Julie Hedges is an author, healer, and seer who creates sacred space for meaningful dialogue with the soul. Julie helps people around the globe discover and embrace their unique gifts, talents, and abilities. She wrote the Tarot Journey Volume 1 to share her best tarot tips. Join her for Cosmic Conversations live stream show on Facebook and YouTube, which is the third Monday of every month. Julie teaches the art and science of many spiritual disciplines and offers private sessions. I can tell you that I have sought Julie's counsel for both tarot and astrology and have come away feeling validated and educated each time. So tonight, I am very happy to introduce to you and welcome Julie.
Yay! Hello, I'm happy to be here.
I'm so happy you're here.
Yay! Happy dance, happy dance.
Your beautiful self and your beautiful roses.
Thank you. Yes. I love to buy myself flowers. It's my new little thing. Why not?
Yeah, it brings so much joy.
Yeah.
And it's a great self-care practice.
They're getting really, really full and starting to turn a little bit. So tomorrow I'm going to use these to make my rose water. I make my own rose water and I use it on my face and my hair every day. So yeah, that's another reason why I love to buy myself flowers.
Wow, I will have to message you privately so you can tell me that whole process.
Hey, yeah, I can even talk about it tonight if you want to.
Sure. Yeah, if you want to jump in, before you do that, Julie and I are going to be chatting. And then at the end of the show, she and I are going to do a group read for everyone. So people will not be doing, I will not be doing individual readings tonight, but Julie and I are going to give everybody messages from a few different decks. So we'll be blending our energies and sharing our perspectives for you at the end of the show. So I can't wait for that. So let's hear about your rose water concoction process, yes. And then I'll start with the other questions.
Excellent. So these are just out of the package. They have bloomed so beautifully. And when it's time for me to make the rose water, I just lovingly take off the petals and rinse them pretty well in just room temperature water. And then I put them on the stove I bring it up to a boil and then let them simmer. And what that does, it will soak out, that's the best way I can put it, all of the color. So you can tell when it's ready because the petals themselves will turn kind of a milky color, like all their color has come out. And so then you just let it cool. And I add vodka to mine to preserve it. When it's cool, I add vodka a little bit and put it in a glass container, and I put it in my refrigerator. And when I'm ready to fill up my little spray bottle, because I have about a 4-ounce spray bottle, then I make my final process. So the rose petals do not smell. If you buy rose water commercially, that's got the chemicals and the synthetics in it. And so that's why it smells like roses. But real rose water does not smell. So what I do so that's the water part when you boil it. And then to actually make the spray that I use on my face and my hair every day is I will add, for a 4-ounce bottle, I will add about 25 drops of rose essential oil. And then about a half an ounce of purified water. And so give that a good shake. And so that's what has the rose smell, and also the benefits of the oil plus the benefits of the roses themselves.
Nice. Yeah. And roses carry such a high vibration and such a vibration of love that I bet that just feels wonderful. Soaking that in or spritzing that into your energy field.
Yep, every day. And I did just a little bit on my face before I got online here. So I did have a little, freshen up after I took a nap. So I wanted to freshen up before our show.
You have a nice glow.
Thank you. Thank you. I do hear that. So I appreciate that.
So let's take a minute and say hello to the people that are here tonight. Rob, if you wouldn't mind pulling up. Oh, hi, Rick. Nice to have you here. Cassia, nice to see you. Hi, Ellen. No, I will not be doing cards tonight. I will be doing a group read at the end. Lisa, oh, thank you. Inspired, which I will tell you about, by Julie. The dramatic change. Rob letting us know that the link from YouTube is working, as well as from Facebook. Christine, nice to see you tonight. Hello, Margaret. Hi, Renee. Yeah, tonight I just get to say hello to people and have you enjoy the show. Susan, hello. And we're back to Rick. Nice. All right. So, Julie, my first question for you that you can let our audience know about is tell us about what inspired and guided the course of your spiritual journey. That's a broad question.
I love that question. And in fact, I did write about that in the tarot journey in my introduction of how my journey has unfolded. And just real quick, I have always been a performer since the age of 3, dancing and singing. And even in my crib, my mom will tell you that I went to bed singing and woke up singing. So it's just all the time, anywhere. And I was in a sacred circle. And the facilitator was having us all hold hands, and we were outside in the nice autumn weather, and the sun was bright, and we were just opening our hearts and asking Grandfather Sun what we needed for our spiritual path. Something along that line. That's my paraphrase. And so I just opened my heart and I took a deep breath in. And in my mind, I said, what do I didn't even get my whole question out. And at the same time, I heard and I felt throughout my body, like ringing through my spine, this huge booming voice, kind of like James Earl Jones was inside me and around me at the same time with his booming voice, said, sing. And so, it kind of startled me and I almost fell out of the circle, but thankfully I didn't. So singing has really been part of that path. And it's, in addition to the singing, it's more about just really opening up and using my voice. I had studied metaphysics for many, many years. The first metaphysical language that I studied was the tarot. But the first metaphysical language that really booms, like, yeah, I got it, was astrology. So tarot was my first study, but astrology was the one that I was like, yes, this is it. I can really connect with this. So I guess that was where I became more fluent. And I began doing professional readings in 2009 and then began teaching in 2012. And in 2014 is when I started my podcast. And this was, back then it was the Tarot Journey radio show on Blog Talk Radio through Star Nation's network. And then, of course, we blossomed into Be Live and YouTube. And who knows where we're going to go from here, right? Maybe Jumbotrons. Who knows? But my very first program, that happening, that spiritual awakening that I had with Grandfather Sun about what I needed for my spiritual path, was really coalescing at the same time that I was debuting my show. And so Spirit came to me before I was doing my first show and said, you need to sing on your show. And I thought, you've got to be kidding me. I'm not going to sing on the radio for the entire world. But I did, and I have since. But I was like, you want me to do what? It was that kind of moment. And I've had those kind of moments since. But I do really listen to Spirit. I've got that relationship. And I trust that, okay, you want me to do this, and I'll do it, but you got to take care of me.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah.
I hope that answers the question. I think I kind of went a little bit.
It does. It answered it very well.
Okay.
So do you get a lot of signs from Spirit through music? I'm just curious, since they
yes.
came through in such a clear, audience way and encouraged you to sing. I'm wondering if that's one of your primary channels of getting information from Spirit.
Absolutely. Anytime that I'm working on an astrology chart, I always get a song. So astrology is very didactic. Like, this means this and that means that, but I always bring in the element of spirit of, okay, this is the chart. These are the figures and how things align, but what is the story that needs to come through? And so I allow myself, I always set sacred space and I allow that to come through. And so Spirit will always give me a song.
Mm-hmm.
And so I include that with the reading. Your soul song for this session is blah, blah, blah. So it could be the lyrics have something to do with it. It could be the theme of the song. It could be something that needs to be shared. So I always include it, and I invite my clients to listen to it either before or after the session, see what it means to them.
Mm-hmm. I actually remember that from the reading that you did for me.
Okay.
That I'm sorry I don't recall off the top of my head what the song was, but I remember you started singing the lyrics to whatever the song was that Spirit was sharing with you for me.
Yeah, I'll do that. I'll just kind of bust it out.
That's great. I read your book and encourage anybody who is learning the tarot or is interested in the tarot to do so. And then I have to say, so I've been a student of the tarot for years and years, and have read a number of books. And I have to say, yours was the most informative in terms of providing a really beautiful history of the tarot itself and the symbolism and what was happening at the time of history that it was created. And then it was also infused, like you can totally tell reading your book that you've been a teacher and that you are a teacher, because your presentation of it was so easy to follow and clear. And you infused it with your own story, which I really appreciated. So, so for somebody who's learning the tarot or is curious about it, before they get your book,
yeah,
how would you, how would you explain it to them, and what advice would you give for someone who's just going to start to form a relationship with these divination cards?
Yes, it is. It's a lot to take in. It was the first metaphysical step that I took, but it overwhelmed me, and it took me a long time and many years to form that relationship, because this 78 cards, how am I going to memorize all of these? And it felt like climbing Mount Everest, which I've never done, and I probably would never do, because it's a lot of work. So, and I love this question because I'm going to use part of it in a tarot class that I'm teaching later this month. The tarot is the hero's story. So in every hero story, he kind of starts off as a regular guy or a regular gal, a nobody special. And then, something happens, like, oh, terror in the land, or, oh, I've got to go out on this quest, or, this or that. And then they go slay the dragon, or they meet these characters along the way, and they have setbacks, and they have achievements, and they gain skills and learn new things, and they master them, and just move on through the story. And that's what the tarot actually is. It's the hero story, and you are the hero. That's the beauty of what the tarot is all about. So as a kid, I used to read these choose your own adventure books.
I love those.
So yeah, it's like, turn to page whatever if you want to go up the stairs, turn to this page if you want to run out the door, just whatever it is. So that's what the tarot is. This card is, I don't know, embrace your gifts. This card is sit down and study. This card is ask for help. This card is take a nap. So it's the choose your own hero's adventure, and you are the hero. So when you're beginning this relationship, that's how I would think of it, is this is a book, but it's just in card form. So you can flip the book however you want to.
Yep.
You can start at the middle, you can start at the end, you can 3 or 4 pages in the middle, beginning, and end, wherever you want to go. It's a story that you get to tell for yourself. And then as you feel more comfortable, your friends and acquaintances will probably want you to help them with their own hero story. So that's how I think of it now.
That's a great explanation.
Thank you.
It's I like how you relate it to the soul's journey, but it's also, as you pointed out, very practical advice that you can get from the tarot.
Absolutely. There are 2 facets to the tarot. There's the major arcana and the minor arcana. So don't get bogged down with these vocabulary words. It just means there are 2 different parts of the overall story. The major arcana are those characters and archetypes and overall themes of, oh, the hero meets the princess, or the hero goes to the hermit and gets some wisdom, or the hero, scales up the tower and saves the damsel in distress. Those kinds of overall themes. And then you have the minor arcana, which are more details. So I liken them to tools, dreams, mastery, and lessons that you learn. So you can just kind of plug in the details that fit for your particular story.
Nice. So I noticed that when I do healings for people, or if I'm doing a reading for someone and I start getting channeled information for them, that oftentimes the angels and guides will show me a tarot card for a person.
Nice.
Which I love.
Yes.
So then I get a snapshot of both what might be going on in their body, or what might be happening in their energy field, or what they can expect to be coming into their life. I'm curious for you, how do you use that blend? Like, you have an amazing blend of like your wisdom of the tarot, astrology, energy healing. Like, how do you blend it all when you do your private sessions?
Oh my goodness. I love that question. My gifts are activated on the formed word. So people talk to me and that's how the information starts coming. Like that uncorks the ketchup bottle, so to speak. I also through email. So it's the formed word that starts things working. I am clairvoyant and clairaudient. So a lot of times I'll close my eyes because I can see better then. I will get images or still pictures. Spirit loves to talk to me in my left ear. So if I'm kind of silent for a moment, I'm listening to something that comes through. I always, how do I want to say? I have a good understanding of where things are roaming around in the sky right now. And of course, if I'm doing an astrology reading, I've got that chart up so I know exactly how things are firing and pinging and blossoming for that person in their life right now. But if I'm doing another kind of reading, maybe an Akashic record reading, or maybe a tarot reading or an oracle reading, we might talk about, well, what is your astrology sign? So I can get an idea of what kinds of energies are active for them, and I can help them understand what's going on up there is supporting you down here, but how? So I hope that answers your question. It's very interesting. I love that you shared that you get an image of a tarot card. I personally have never gotten that.
Oh,
But I
wow.
did get a really odd one time. My spiritual team tends to have a sense of humor, and so I was doing a reading. I'll never forget this. They showed me a picture of a Big Mac. I'm like, this lady was not a chef or a cook, and we weren't talking about food at all, but showing me a Big Mac. And I'm like, okay, what's that mean? And the message was, and I had to chuckle, the message was, okay, so a Big Mac has all these layers. Oh gosh, I used to know the thing. Sauce, lettuce, cheese, pickles, onions, sesame seed, but like all of these layers of things.
Two
And of
all
course,
beef patties, special sauce, lettuce, cheese, pickles, onions, all in the sesame seed bun.
Thank you. So yeah, you can picture, and now I'm hungry. You can picture that stack of stuff, and so that was the message of all of the ways that she helps people is in layers. And so they decided it would be funny to show me that as a Big Mac. So yeah, I never know, but one thing that I do teach when I'm helping people discover and learn their relationship with the tarot is that there is no peanut butter and jelly card. And what I mean by that is I don't read the cards. Yes, they give us some snippets of information, but the information that comes to me is from the higher dimensions of spirit, either my guides or your guides. And I always speak in evolutionary terms of what is going to give this person the empowerment to make positive decisions in his or her life. So there is no peanut butter and jelly card in the tarot that I've ever seen, but maybe for this reading, the message comes through and my guides are being funny again and shows me a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. And instead of editing, which I used to do, it's like, I can't say that. They're going to think I'm crazy. I'm not sure I can do that. We've all doubted ourselves to say, well, I'm being shown a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. So here you go. I hope that makes sense. And, 99% of the time it's, oh, that was so Aunt Bertha's favorite food or something. That was just the message I needed. And then the other times is a few weeks or a month later or a few months later. It didn't make sense at the time, but when you told me blah, 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 now I get it. I'm like, okay, I give what I get.
Yes. Yeah. I think the big part of developing your intuition is to, both on a personal level and as a reader, it's trusting the messages that you get and not having ego try to interpret and fit it into a certain box.
Yes.
And to be okay with not knowing in the moment, and to be okay with saying, all right, I got this sign, I got this message, I don't know why. And then sharing it, or if it's for you, for just trusting it.
And that's part of the whole songs coming through for people as I'm doing astrology charts. Like, I'm not sure what this song is meaning for this session, but obviously it's one that I need to give away. So here you go. Have at it. I invite you to take a listen if you choose. So.
Great. Do you have a favorite modality, or that you?
Yeah.
Or do they sort of like rotate through different phases of where you are in your life?
Well, I love sound healing, and but what I get a lot of, honestly, is astrology. And I'm making changes to my website right now. I'm making changes to my offerings where I'm doing a combined Akashic records and astrology reading. So the
Ooh.
astrology is your soul's chart from the point of origin that the stars were aligned when your physical body was born this time. And the Akashic records is the record of your soul from its origin, which is a lot of people believe, and I personally believe that was well before and beyond this time that your physical body was incarnated.
Yes.
So it's a merging of the soul's path through two different perspectives, and it has been wowza. I'll just put it that way. People are really, really enjoying that.
Oh, I bet. I bet.
But I personally like to do the sound healing. And in fact, on Sunday, I'm going to do a special event locally here at Spiritual Center, sound healing and mini messages. So I'm looking forward to that.
And tell people what state you're in case there's any locals
that
are listening.
Oh, yes. I'm in Evansville, Indiana. And I did share the show over to my page. So anyone who wants to come to Unity on Pollock Avenue at 1 p.m. on Sunday, I'm facilitating the Search for Truth group that is once a month on the third Sunday. And it's my turn, and I will be doing a sound healing for all of us. And because we're really going through a lot right now, and some mini messages for anyone in attendance. So come on down.
Nice. So when you say sound healing, do you use bowls? Do you use voice?
Yes.
Chanting?
Yes, and yes. So I have my healing rattle. I have my drums. I have my crystal singing bowl. Bowls rather, and my Tibetan singing bowl. I have tingsas. I have chimes. Wow. I'm really wanting to add to my repertoire. I'd love to learn the harmonium, but that's going to take a little bit of investment in time and dollars. Those are a little on the expensive side, but I would love to have the harmonium. But I have all of those, and I do use them for sacred sound healing. And I offer, prayers through the Sanskrit chants in English and other languages as well.
Beautiful.
One of my
favorites.
Beautiful. Thanks.
So I just want to pause and invite anybody who's watching, if you have a question for Julie or a question that you would like for us both to answer, go ahead and write that in the chat. And let us know where you're watching from. And we would be happy to answer.
Well, everyone is thinking of a question or writing it in so that we can answer that. I would love to do a shout out to Miss Maureen Mann, and I would like to share something with the group about Maureen and how she has personally inspired me. I remember this summer during an angel therapy show that she hosted, where she did this wonderful channeled meditation about going into the room of your heart and really envisioning what this room filled with love, what it looks like, what it feels like, what it smells like, what it sounds like. And this was such a magical process for me. The meditation was probably 15 minutes, but it felt like days for me because of the experience that I had. In fact, for me, the room in my heart wasn't like a room where I'm in the dining room right now, but I went into this sacred cave with this medicine woman. And just in the glow of the cave fire, she was showing me the paintings on the walls, the cave paintings, and they were scenes of my life. And the message I got was, these are all of the places my heart has been. And when I was then coming back out of this, Spirit gave me kind of an assignment, we'll say, put it on my heart to represent this journey in art. And I do mixed media art. And so the first piece that I did that is inspired by that experience that Maureen led is this piece right here. And I just want to hold it up. I put it in, it's a 5x5, but I put it in an 8x10 frame. And it's
Very
a mixed
dynamic.
media piece. And it's representative of that first part where I'm in the cave and the medicine woman, we're in the glow of the fire, and the medicine woman is wanting me to look up and showing me the places on the wall, the art on the wall where my heart has been. And
What is
so
the image in the top right corner?
so this one,
Yes.
it's just probably a piece of like clothing from a magazine.
Okay.
So
It's funny because when I looked at it, I thought it was a mountain.
see, my art is inspiring of all kinds.
It is.
So yeah. And this piece is titled The Cave of Remembrance, All the Places My Heart Has Been. And I'm preparing the next one. The next one is pretty big. And so the canvas is set, and it's going to be acrylic and mixed media as well. So it's being formed in my mind, but I have to give you a shout out for that inspiration. Thank you.
You're very welcome. I'll have to do that meditation on an upcoming show because it is beautiful and so healing to go into our hearts and to explore like that and to shine light on who and what is there so that we feel comfortable coming home to it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Nice. So it's funny, somebody asked the question, which is a question I was going to ask you, is what wisdom can you share with us regarding the current state of affairs related to the astrological forecast and what's influencing us?
Oh, girl, let me just tell you.
Sit back and relax.
Yes, there's a lot going on, but I want to invite people after the show to go outside and look up, because you're going to see these beautiful, their consciousnesses in the sky. We're gazing up at them and they're looking down on us. And so where to look and where to experience them. Mars, the planet of our energy, our life force energy, our chi, our vitality, our ba-ba-ba-boom. He's shining really bright and nice and red in the eastern sky right now at night. So about halfway up in the night sky, you'll see him. He's just shining right there all by himself. So he's big and red, and you can see him there. And then if you just kind of turn yourself to the south, you will see then really bright Jupiter. And next to Jupiter, a little smaller, but still bright, Saturn. And in between those two, you can't see it because he's really far away, but there's Pluto in there too. So just imagine Pluto is hanging out with the guys there in the night sky. And you will see those two, Jupiter and Saturn, move closer and closer and closer and closer to where they will be in conjunction on the winter solstice, December 21st, 2020. So they'll be kind of gradually scooting closer through the end of the year. So that's what's going on up there. And you can certainly see that. And tomorrow is a new moon. So that means grandfather sun and grandmother moon are kind of canoodling and, smoochy smoochy on the couch, right? They're not worried about the rest of the world. So that's why she's not shining bright right now, because they're kind of just in their own little world. So we have a new moon tomorrow in the sign of Libra. So we know that new moons are this wonderful energy of beginnings, seeds that you want to plant, where you want to go and what you want to discover and embrace and allow to grow. Well, Libra is the sign of harmony and balance and beauty and peace and love and relationships. So those are some of the themes that you could take a look at for planting a seed of. Here I've got my roses, I've got my beauty. I've been really thinking about the art work that I want to develop and start on my second piece. So yeah, those are some things that I can plant in my new moon ceremony.
Very nice. Yeah, I love doing a new moon ritual where I light a candle, call in the angels, and really think about what I want to manifest in the upcoming month. And then I'm a big fan of burning. And then I burn the list with full faith and intention that my prayers are heard and that in time, what's meant for me will come back to me.
I call those write and burns. I love those too.
Write and burns.
Write it out and then you burn it, because that's alchemy. That sends it right on up.
It is. It is. So, speaking of writing, I want to share with people the inspiration and the guidance that you provided for me when I had the reading with you back at the end of May. So my birthday is in July. So it was sort of in preparation for a big milestone birthday for me. And I got a reading from Julie that was an astrology reading. And so I remember you sent me the paperwork ahead of time and I just looked at it and I was like, this is literally like me trying to learn calculus right now. Like, this makes zero sense. But then you shared with me everything that was happening in the moment and then what I could expect in the year coming up. And at that time, I had decided to cut all of my hair off. And you asked me what inspired that and said that it made complete sense that I would make such a drastic move based on my chart and the cycle of my growth. And then I remember you said to me, you emailed this even before the reading. You said, so what are you publishing this year? And I was like, I felt completely called out because I was like, I haven't told her that. And then when we were talking, I shared with you that I have felt inspired for 15 years, to write a book. But I had been feeling stymied about how to go about writing it. And I was really stuck in the process and thinking, like, being a complete like achiever and rule follower, I was like, well, I have to do this first and I have to have the outline and then I have to do the graphic organizers. And you're like, nope, that's not how it's gonna go. And you advised me, where did I put it? You advised me to get a certain crystal, which is Angel Aura. and you told me to go for walks, and that the book would be answering a series of questions that I was just supposed to wait for them to bubble up. And sure enough, I did that for a couple of months on my morning walks. And then you also told me at the time the archangels that would be coming to me to help me write the book. And they did. So, and now the book is, the first draft of the book is written. It's channeled. I channeled the whole thing in 2 months.
Whoa.
And it's with an editor right now. But I want to spend just a minute, because I want to have time for us to do the group reading, to talk and give a shout out to Archangel Christiel, who you introduced me to. So tell me, since you've been working with Christiel for longer than I have, tell me about your connection with Christiel.
Okay, so Christiel has come to me through this work that I was introduced to by Diana Cooper. She is from the UK. I think a lot of people maybe already know that name. And she does work with a 12 chakra system to anchor the 12 chakra system and open up our connection to the 5th dimensional chakras. Okay, so according to her work, Archangel Christiel is a 5th dimensional archangel that works with our causal chakra, which is above the crown and a little bit behind the head. And she calls the causal chakra your own personal moon, where you get this really nurturing, intuitive information. And Christiel is the archangel who oversees that area of learning and assimilation and guidance and all of those good sorts of things. So I had been working with Christiel in that capacity through the chakra system. And so it just was given to me to share that with you, from the angels and the spirits when we were talking, kind of like, hey, pick me, pick me, pick me. But that the higher dimensional, or no, that's not what I want to say. The higher octave of Archangel Haniel, which we think of as the angel that carries the moon energy and the feminine energy. That's the way I think of Haniel.
Yeah.
And so Archangel Christiel would be a higher octave of that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great.
Just like the planet Mercury is all about our learning and communication and how we move around. And the higher octave of that in astrology is the planet Uranus. So that's the cosmic traveler there. So it's like that. Haniel is the 4th dimensional or whatever energy of the archangels, and then of the moon, and then Christiel would be the higher dimensional, higher octave of that.
Thank you for explaining that.
You're welcome.
I really enjoy working with her, and I'm very grateful to you for bringing her into my life.
You are welcome. You are welcome.
Let's talk about the cards.
Okay.
So I drew the cards as you were just talking.
All right.
And I'm going to share what I'm getting and then invite you to jump in as well.
Okay.
So I started with the animal card, and I got the coyote. And what's interesting is the coyote came up when I was doing the monthly extensive reading that I do for my Patreon community. This is one of the animals that came up for the month of October. So I think that's interesting. It's coming up again. Then the 2 tarot, we actually got 2 soul cards, 2 of the major arcana, as Julie explained earlier. So we have the Emperor and we have Strength. So what I'm getting, so just as Rob is pointing out, this is from the Angel Tarot and this is from the Angel Wisdom Tarot, both from Bradley Valentine. So what I'm getting, and I think I intentionally pulled this one first, because the coyote is the trickster who helps us like not take things so seriously. And I feel like he's the guide that we get when we're being all serious about something, and then the coyote throws the curveball just to lighten us up. And then I feel like these 2 cards are just to remind us that there is an order to what's going on. Like I feel the Emperor is saying you need to find your own rootedness and your own stability right now. If you can't in institutions, that you need to call on Archangel Michael to clear any fear that you have, and to trust yourself and to trust the angels to be the pillars of strength in order for you right now. And then the Strength card is a card of both of, like, I'm feeling like it's a big relief and reassurance card. Like, I feel like the angels are saying, we know this is hard. We know that you've demonstrated a lot of perseverance already, but we need you to hang in there a little bit longer. That what's going on is going to go on for more time. And so we know that you have the strength to get through this and to make sure you get out in nature and get some nature healing and some grounding so that you can feel more at peace. So what do you think, Julie? What are you getting?
Okay. Yay, you're going to hold those up again. Awesome.
Yeah.
Coyote medicine for me comes through, and I want to just validate everything that you've just said. I'm like, yes. And to add to that, coyote medicine comes to me as the backwards teacher, the backwards way, the trickster, as Maureen said. And the message that wants to come through right now is kind of in this cocky voice. So you say you really believe blah, 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 blah. What about this? So I'm feeling that we as individuals are going to be asked very personal and specific questions about our own yes and our own no. So you say you believe this, or you say you're not going to do that, but what about this? What about this? So it's a smorgasbord of, oh, you're not going to eat chocolates? Well, what about these? You know, are you going to hold to your own strength, your own yes and your own no? Are you going to sit on your own throne and take the authority of what you know, what you believe to be true, and not be tantalized is the word that they want to share, not be strayed off of your path by little dances or sparkly things or nitpicking. That's the way it wants to come through, is nitpicking of, well, you said this, but what about that? Well, what about that? Well, what about that? Kind of like how your kids do. Well, why? Well, why? Well, why? Because, you know, so staying with your own strength. And it is going to require some endurance, and it's going to require for your own spirit to kind of put the hammer down, be that authority, be the leader of, no, I'm not going to engage in whatever this is with a capital T for your own spirit. So that's kind of what I think's coming through.
Nice. Thank you for that.
Thank you. You're welcome.
Thank you. I hope that those messages are helpful to our audience. I didn't get to ask you all the questions, but I'm going to close with this one.
Okay.
What is lighting you up or inspiring you right now?
Oh, I know you sent these questions to me beforehand, but it's like I'm hearing them for the very first time. I have a very full month this month. But I'm doing some deep personal work. I'm taking 2 classes right now, but I'm really listening to my self-care. So that's what's lighting me up. Like these roses. I'm like, whatever I do with setting up tonight, it's like, I want these roses in because they're just bringing me joy. They're bringing me peace and propping me up, I guess you'd say. In the other room, I have frankincense and lemon oil diffusing in the diffuser. So I have that beautiful smell of just really lifting up. And I'm also listening to my body. It's like I needed to take a nap before we got online. And so I took a nap. And now I'm going to need some food after this because talking about Big Macs and stuff, I'm hungry. So yeah, and I've been inspired to start on some projects, and it's been a while since I've had that. It's like it grabs me. It's like, put this down on paper now. I'm like, okay. So that has happened just this week after some kind of long, just floating along in life, doing the things that I know I'm supposed to do. It's like, bam, bam. Okay, things are kind of formulating for me. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, I want to thank our audience, and to those of you who have been adding comments, I will be sure to review those after the show. And I want to thank Julie for being my inaugural guest on Angel Therapy. How can people get in touch with you?
Oh, thank you. My website, if Rob doesn't mind to type it in, it's www.soulempowerment.com. And just to let everybody know, I do have a special going on right now. I have 3 spots left of doing a special Mercury retrograde reading. It's a recorded reading, 30 minutes. So you give me your date of birth information, I send you the PayPal link, and then I pull your chart and I do this recording of what Mercury retrograde, thank you, Rob, has for that's soulempowerment.com. Is this? Oh yeah. It's on the screen. Yeah, there it is. It's scrolling. Thank you. What Mercury retrograde is inspiring for you right now, and what you can, how you can use its energy for your benefit. So
wonderful. That would be very helpful.
Thanks.
And I will say, if people want to get in touch with me or learn more about my work, you can go to maureenmann.com. Be sure to check out Julie's show, which is the 3rd Monday of the month. At what time?
8 Eastern.
8 Eastern time.
It's coming up on Monday, Cosmic Conversations.
I have it marked. I'm going to have to join late, but I will be there.
Awesome. We're going to talk about Mars. We're going to talk about our life force energy and what Mars is doing for us. You know, he's hanging out in the sky, in the eastern sky behind me. at night, but what is he doing in our bodies and in our
Mm.
psyches? So, yeah, what's Mars got to do with it? That's what we're going to talk about.
Well, thanks to Rob,
Yes,
our,
thank you, Rob.
our very helpful producer. And I look forward to seeing all of you next Thursday at 7 p.m. when I will be talking about Archangel Jophiel and helping us have a beautiful outlook on life.
Yay. I like him.
I do too. So have a wonderful week, everybody, and take care.